If you're familiar with Sarah Boone's case, then you're going to appreciate the work that I put into this, putting this all together for you. It's sort of a very best of Sarah Boone, if you will. If you are not familiar with her case, then you're still going to very much enjoy this. I don't think that I need to put any kind of narration or a lot of context behind it. I think you're going to get the gist of what happened here. But one thing I do want to say before you watch this is that there is a lot of comedic value in everything that you're going to see and hear from Sarah Boone. But there's absolutely nothing funny about the events, the circumstances of George Torres's death and his murder at the hands of Sarah Boone. And as you're going to kind of see from the 911 call all the way to some post sentencing events, nobody's really laughing at this. Like the dispatchers are not laughing, the police are not laughing, lawyers are not laughing. This is a very serious case. George Torres was a man, he was a father, a son, a brother, an uncle. He was very loved and he's been very missed since his death. And any of the comedic value that you are going to see comes from Sarah Boone directly, like her behavior, her choice of words, just it's her herself. So we are as viewers, we're laughing at her, not with her. And we're certainly not laughing about the circumstances of George's death. So if Sarah is watching, which she probably is, because I know she watches all any media YouTube coverage about her. So if you are watching and you don't like how you've been portrayed in the media and on YouTube or how this makes you look, then you probably should have behaved better because this is all on you. This is you. It is your words, your actions. Everything is not being edited in a way to make you look bad. I'm not slicing things together to change the context of how you said things, where you said them, when you said them, and what you meant by them. It is just purely you. I'm not adding anything to it to make it more comedic than it really is. It's your behavior and your actions that are ridiculous and absurd. And that is what provides the comedic value to what you're going to see. It is not the circumstances, certainly around George Torres's death. And with that, please enjoy the very best of Sarah Boone.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
4748 France Court, apartment 3.
4748, what's the street name?
France, Frantz.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead. My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in his case and we were playing. And like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. Yes, like he has like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know if like he had like an aneurysm or what happened.
Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No, he's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah, okay.
But nothing happened.
All right, okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right, okay, listen. Okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him, okay? All right?
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Okay.
Please! Okay, he just gurgled. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is nothing.
Okay, ma'am, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
32. Please hurry.
Okay, ma'am, they're getting there as fast as they can, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
Okay. Keep pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Please hurry.
Right, okay.
Horrible. This is horrific.
I really need something to drink.
Okay,
I got my Dr. Pepper on the counter.
Okay, we'll take care of you. Give me 1 second. Okay.
I called you guys. I tried giving you CPR. The problem is I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning when I found it.
Before you called?
Yes.
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him, and I took him out, and I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband or your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live at?
Right down the street.
Okay. So you were playing and who zipped him up?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
I fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or what.
What kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
you
that I
didn't take
know
any
of.
medicine?
No.
No medicine.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was doing CPR.
What time did you start? Probably, give me a rough ballpark. Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so cotton mouth right now.
Your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Ex-wife. We've been divorced about a year and a half. About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out, because this is supposed to be her day.
Can you give me 1764, please?
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it. She tends to drink.
They called back and said she was still there, or she came back.
So I was calling to find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
From school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then
She was back inside the lobby.
finally got a hold of her
I'll
at
come back here.
12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here. So I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to
Who
be
called?
in there.
Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her
Give me
initially.
1 second, okay?
But I called her initially.
Do you have water in your car by any chance?
I don't think so.
Bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was in the
you guys
suitcase.
were playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where
got
it
in
is.
it? Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little joke?
It was. We both were laughing about it. And then I fell asleep.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning? Or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
Ballpark, what time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that we have been going through. Jobs.
Yeah, he did tell me.
Life, all that good stuff. So I just totally forgot.
So you began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About
and
what
gurgled,
time this morning did you start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon because I was awake. But then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is. And I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase. And he wasn't moving. Nothing was happening. So I unzipped it, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out and he was gurgling, but I could just tell by looking at him.
But you knew how to do CPR? You were doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing it.
And he's got no medical? He doesn't take any medication?
I don't know. I don't know medical-wise. I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever.
Okay.
The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had something to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
Okay.
As far as him, but I cannot, there's no way I could say how, why.
So just by looking at him, why is he purple?
Oh, that's normal when someone passes away. Lividity, you turn.
As soon as the heart stops beating, the blood starts to settle to the lowest points of the body, and then it just becomes very pronounced. So that's what she just called us. It happens every night.
I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
You have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do, okay? And we can talk about that more in length, but yeah, it's not going to be a surprise.
Real quick, and then,
but like, I don't, like, this was totally, like, not intentional. Like, that's what I'm scared about too. Like, hey.
I'm not going to just go and do it without you knowing. You'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but, like, what do you just tell him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason?
He passed away.
We tell them what we know at that point.
Yeah.
We tell them the truth.
And that we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will be at the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
Yeah. We'll give them their number. They can contact them and get it from them.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that
they're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I've encouraged him numerous times to go over there and see his family.
This morning we went to his autopsy, and we were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor. So so he's got scratch marks to his back.
I know what that's from.
Okay. And it's called a contusion. Do you know what a contusion is? So, like, basically you're getting hit, and then, you know, you get a mark from it. You'll get bruising. Like, someone hit you or something like that. It's called a contusion. So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his, like, lip. We could see his mouth was a little
I haven't laid
swollen.
a hand on him.
Okay.
Also, too, he fell off my son's bike.
Okay.
So I don't know. And he's notorious for running into the wall or the hall tree.
Okay.
So
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's also like a scratch on like the back of his neck, like kind of like going, but it's like going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from.
And they're all recent. Like they occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, you know, the night leading up to when he was.
In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, like, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is. No idea what it is. Nonetheless, I've had my son over the house too, so correct.
So we're talking about Sunday, and then into Monday.
I'm thoroughly confused because we had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play, and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
Hit him.
I
considered
not
forced
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
Then how would he get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
absolutely
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day. It was a good day. We've had good days lately, even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from. So
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
The probation officer?
No, you said you guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've been good. I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. And I don't know if you talked to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. Like, I don't know if you all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken. And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures bloody fingers, split foreheads, he split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know if Brian told you about it, where I had to have almost I had one really bad surgery, but then it got really, 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 really bad where I had to go like 4 or 5 more times afterwards for them to tend to it. From him poking me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's...
Then why are you still with him?
Everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him. Like I do. And I feel like I can help him. Like I feel like I could help him, which I did, because he came a really long way from where he was in Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with. I've really helped him. I've bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him. Gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him. And he was trying. He was really trying. And then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed, and then it's like, the next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is going to go, so I'm going to go upstairs and read a book, or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else, where I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself, where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that, so he would literally, not literally, but have smoke coming out of his ears. His ex-wife is bonkers. She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I send you money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the paint to try to get him off of it so we don't have a drink, or he doesn't have a drink. So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk.
He was not drunk. You guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-compos mentis, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control. So
I'm just saying, you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, But you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand? And it got physical?
No.
Or is it...
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that, too, on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves the dog and dancing around, having a good time, and just being happy kind of thing. He doesn't know. I can get, maybe 2-3 glasses of wine, and I'll be fine. But I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect.
Well, let's talk about Sunday. What was Sunday? How were you, how many glasses of wine did you have? How many glasses of wine did he have? The bottle was gone. I mean, I don't know if you poured any out. Yes.
No, that was from previous.
You said that there was a half bottle left
Yeah, about
over.
this much.
And then that you had well, I don't even know how the wine. How'd you guys get the wine for Sunday?
I'm guessing he went to Publix.
Does he like leave the house and you stay home, or do you go to Publix? Like, cause
sometimes I'll go with him.
Okay. Did you go with him Sunday to Publix?
So most of the time, what happens is because the convenience store where we get cigarettes is here, and then Publix literally is cattywampus to it.
Okay.
So what he'll do is he'll go by Publix, and then on the way back catch the convenience store.
Okay.
So
is that what he did Sunday?
I'm guessing that's what he did, because the next thing I know, he's walking in with a bottle.
Okay.
So it's him trying to be nice, so I don't have to go out and do it. Nobody else knows, but I know. Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself. And I tried in every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone. I helped him. I took care of him. I miss him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night. I miss him a lot.
I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him and
I never stopped.
trying to...
I never stopped.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him.
Yeah. We just don't... I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and...
I have no idea.
You were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Wonderful. That's one of my questions, too, I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally one time when George was at work, when he was working. 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him. But he's changed. He changed.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him. Okay, my thing is, too, so you all know, I hate that you can't talk to her, but Dee, his ex-wife, when I say a monster, she's a monster. Like, she withholds their children from speaking to him. So he gets upset about that, and then she, like, completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. I mean, mind you, this has not, like, been recent, but, which is why he didn't even bother calling anymore, because he knows that she's going to answer and he's going to have to talk to her, so therefore he can't talk to his daughter. The other time he talked to her, made her talk to Cookie. That's on my cell phone, too, so you can see it.
okay.
It doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter.
What does she have to do, though, with anything about what happened Sunday and into Monday? Like,
no, I'm just saying, like, previously, why the incidents, what happened is she plays a big part in it.
Okay.
On top of job and money and groceries and all that.
Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
Okay. So it was just kind of like that prop was there, and it was there, and it was in play because...
Why do you say it like that, though?
I would never do that.
You would never zip them up in a suitcase?
Well,
I mean, we were playing.
No, I know,
that
but
time,
I'm saying, I'm talking about hide and seek, which is a game, so...
The suitcase originally is in our closet, buried all the way to the back. If you, I know the CSI people saw our closet. Our closet needs to be cleaned out really bad. My son's clothes need to be cleaned out really bad because they don't fit him anymore, and I'm tired of looking at them. So he took it upon himself, including that suitcase, to take it downstairs so we can get all of our clothes, our donations and everything, and just leave the whole thing by the clothing and shoe thing at my son's school.
Gotcha. Right. So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I maybe took a picture of them, the two of Tess and
the dogs.
and George and them dancing, but I mean, or it's just Tess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. I want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Fucking breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
Shh. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die. I don't think you all understand who I am, where...
Okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son.
Okay.
I excel at everything. Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take.
Mm-mm.
No.
Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
No.
I don't want to watch it, please.
It's upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it...
It was flipped up.
Right. It was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down, and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it. My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep.
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
But not intentional.
So a hole.
There's no hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just showing you, I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the other video.
I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end it sounds kind of like a...
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying
It's not malicious.
then what is that?
What does mean to you?
Well...
Like if I were to tell my
like he does. Like, I get called everything but a white woman, so...
Okay.
My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself out, but the video shows
That's what I
at no
told
point
you.
can I see his fingers.
He'll be up here any minute.
and then 30 minutes later he didn't show.
And he's telling you.
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you think
not able
he's
to get
joking?
out.
You told me he was laughing, and
We were before.
the video, there's no
When we first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to you recording this?
No. No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
But
you're the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like,
He's never been locked in a suitcase, that's where he couldn't get out, so.
It's kind of, I thought it was
And
the
you know
boy
the oxygen
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan.
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking, he is begging. And you're the only one laughing.
Okay.
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments, like you're mad.
No. Please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to like feed me. Like,
no, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
Well, I know what.
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
No.
Why don't you remember making the video?
Probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Just because I went upstairs and just because you're drunk doesn't mean that you.
Times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well, we're just trying to make sense of it. We're trying to figure out what you're saying.
We're trying to figure out this video.
You explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was... My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to... He'll be up here any minute.
But you willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase.
So why didn't you take him out?
Because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think, he's asking to come out, he can't
I didn't do it
breathe.
intentionally. It's the drinking. That's what it is. It's the drinking. I thought it was, like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't,
He's telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name, and you're like, that's my name, don't wear it out.
Guys, that's how we are with each other.
You said somebody in a suitcase and went up and went to bed.
Do you all not think, so you all think that it's like, oh good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume? Or trying to, like...
The video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us.
No.
It is not leading up, it is not matching what statement you gave us in the car.
So,
and that's why we want to know.
And I don't remember doing those.
The injuries are not consistent with what you told us. So we have a lot of inconsistencies, and this video explains itself. It really, truly does.
You don't think that I have thought about that?
And you specifically told me that you
I
went
don't-
upstairs.
My intention is not for this to happen. I am sick about it. I've never done anything like this before in the past. I am sick. Especially with that. I thought I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. You tell us last night, you vividly remember this when you told us last night, that he was laughing, you were laughing, you put him in the suitcase, he has 2 fingers sticking out, and you go to bed. Now we see something totally different, and it actually shows you upset and, again, using derogatory terms to him when he's begging for his life to get out of that suitcase.
So
what
but my thing
you
is
say
that
we're assuming, we're not assuming,
but
we're
the
telling
finger,
you what's on there.
so it just happened to be that whenever I was videotaping or doing whatever else it was, just happened to not have that in it.
Okay.
So that's just what we're trying to figure out. I don't know if maybe you had too much to drink, you zipped it up all the way, and then, you know...
I did not zip it up all the way.
Okay, well...
I did not zip it up all the way. This is horrific, okay? Horrific.
It is terrible.
Yeah, so they
Horrific. I don't think I'll ever be right because of this. Ever be right. Dealing with everything else that I have in my life, personally. And then this,
Okay.
whom I loved, it was not intentional. I will put my hand on the Bible. It was not intentional. I would not do that to him nor anyone else.
But you did.
Not intentional.
You intentionally went up to bed.
I didn't intentionally go to bed because I'm thinking, okay, good, he can get out.
How did you not intentionally go to bed? You said you went upstairs and got into bed. That's intentionally going to bed.
Waiting for him.
And he doesn't come, but you don't go down to check on him.
So I happen to go to sleep. When I say go to sleep,
And what do you normally do when you go to bed?
do.
What do you normally do when you go to bed?
What do you mean?
What is a bed for? Going to sleep.
Right.
So you go to
But
bed to
obviously
do
you
what?
can tell too that, like, I've
You
been
go to
drinking
bed
also.
to do what? Okay. You kept telling us, hey, I wasn't intoxicated. I wasn't this. I wasn't that.
Being drunk and intoxicated, which, yes,
Okay.
you can tell that I had been drinking, but
Okay. So if you weren't intoxicated, then why would you ever leave somebody in a suitcase that's begging to get out, that's telling you they can't breathe?
if I hadn't been drinking, you still think it would be the same thing? Where it's like, hop in, I'm going to go to sleep. Is that what you all are trying to do? To portray me
We're not
as?
trying to do anything. I'm simply asking you to explain to me what happened.
Everything was fine and dandy.
I wouldn't call it fine and dandy.
Was fine and dandy.
Explain
You
to
all
me how.
don't, okay, for me to tell you this, again, mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I mean, I don't know what you all want me to tell you, because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Okay. So you just left
I
him there to
didn't
teach
kill
him.
him.
You left him there to teach him a lesson?
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole, knowing that it's there. He'll get out no problem. Because you don't.
And then he doesn't, but you don't go check on him. You say you're up for 30 minutes, and he doesn't come up. You don't go down and check on him?
I'm in the bed.
You even moved,
And off.
you admit to moving the suitcase, like, over, so.
You roll it.
You roll it out, like, it's not like.
I didn't want it to be like that. Don't.
You didn't want him to be upside down? How do you even get upside down?
Right. You guys are killing me right now. I don't know how you want me to say it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you would expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a suitcase.
I didn't mean to leave him in there.
Okay.
What's your reasoning for not calling 911 sooner?
Because I didn't know what to do and how horrific it was. I called Ryan, and like what, 5 minutes later I called you guys? Not even 5 minutes. Nonetheless, that I had to I was trying to do CPR. I had to get him out and try to do CPR, and then called you guys. See, and then it's all backfired on me. Like, it's all backfired on me. And I understand the severity of this.
He's dead.
It's awful, I know.
Okay. So what was your intention for leaving him in there?
And it's not fair. It is not fair. You guys are trying to, again, he's in there. Night, night.
That's what happened.
No.
That's absolutely what happened.
Intentionally.
How's it not? You got up off the couch, walked up a flight of stairs, and got in your bed.
thinking he was going to get out.
And he didn't, and you still didn't go down and check
And it's
on
the
him.
whole 30-minute thing that you guys are trying
I
to
don't care
do,
about 30
whatever.
minutes.
It's like, for all I know, it was 10
He's begging for
minutes.
his life. He's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't. I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen.
But you
Then what
can't
did you
tell us
intend?
why you left him in there and went upstairs. That's my only issue. Like, what am I supposed to write? What do I write?
So my thing is, though, it's, what I have a feeling is, I went upstairs and just hit the bed, kind of thing. But, again, I'm thinking, he'll be up here any minute. But then I go out.
But my question is, why didn't you just let him out prior to going up?
I don't know why.
Well,
Gosh.
I mean...
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. Like, this is not fair at all,
Yes.
that you all are assuming that that's from me.
Where else did it come
If
from?
you were, say it's opposite, you were in the suitcase and you're asking to be let out, would you hope that that person would let you out? Like, you're asking to be let out of a suitcase, should they not let you out?
Eventually. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm blaming it on the wine.
You were very adamant about the fact that both of you had your weapons out. What's your favorite word to use?
Compass mentis.
Nobody drug you up there. You didn't float up damn stairs.
Okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair that you guys keep trying to say that that's what I did.
I don't.
That I intentionally did not do.
What's that? You didn't intentionally do what?
Zip it all the way. He nor I.
Well, he's dead as a result
laid
of your
hands
action.
on each other.
He is dead as a result of
I
your
understand
action.
that.
So,
That's why
You two didn't lay hands on each other.
No. No. I don't have anything.
You're right.
He doesn't. Whatever that is, whatever it
He
is.
does.
See, this is what happens. It's not fair that you guys, just because he has those, automatically blame it on me. Like,
well,
Where else
what
are you
about
gonna
when
go?
you had your injuries and he gets arrested? Is that not fair?
really? Like,
It's
really?
the exact
Yes.
same thing.
Really?
He has injuries. You have injuries. Like, what does that mean?
I don't have any injuries.
Correct.
Because
So
he
nothing
and I
happened to
have
you.
not been at it with one another.
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably
No.
gone to jail all those times that he went to jail
No.
for domestic?
Well, the one time I did. But he completely trashed the police report. Because that's nothing what happened. Because the reason why I got taken in was because my story was different than his. So I'm being portrayed as, like, this abuser.
We're not saying that he doesn't abuse you.
Absolutely.
We're not saying.
So I'm the one that's being portrayed as the abuser.
Because
I have never dealt with anything like this before. I don't know what to do, how to do it, and I always know what to do and how to do it. You guys are scaring me, so, like, I don't know, like, what to expect. I mean, I had questions of things that need to be taken care of. Like, I don't...
What are your questions?
I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right?
I thought about that.
Okay, you left him in a bag when he's begging you, saying, I can't breathe, let me out, and you said, F you. And you got up off the couch and went upstairs and left him in that bag.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to George.
you did.
Not
It happened.
intentionally. Know that.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a thing. It's alcohol.
So
Not, again...
the reason that you killed him?
You all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen. I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention...
I don't know what it is I
to
need to
punish
do,
him?
or how to do it, or what to say, or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows everything that I've done for George, and love him, and continuously helped him throughout his life with me, and made him a happier, better person.
And everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place right now, I'm going to snap? Is that what while we're in a good place right now?
You did.
Yes, absolutely. I got you on video screaming, you.
This is what it feels like when you're choking me. This is what it feels like.
Which was however long ago.
You said
The
it.
video was from last night.
Clearly,
So it wasn't that,
inside you.
yeah.
There's still feelings towards it. You wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it.
But I would never do that.
But it happened, and you did.
But that's after being playful.
But no one's
And
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's
I would hate to see
having
a
a good
bad
day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
Y'all are making me out to be a person that I'm not. Or will I ever be.
Or are you a different person when you're drunk?
People have different personalities after they consume alcohol.
It depends. Well...
Because you're sober now, so sober you.
Nice
Well, what
person,
about drunk
easy
you?
going.
It's both of us. It's both of us. And it's not fair that you all are assuming that the marks that he has on him are from me.
We asked you where they came from.
I have no idea.
Well, nobody else was there, so nobody else was
I
there.
have no idea. I swear I did not lay a hand on him.
Okay. You just zipped them in the bag.
Nor he.
You just zipped them in the bag. And then you flipped the bag around several times.
I didn't do that intentionally.
You didn't intentionally flip the bag around?
No. Why would I do that?
Well, you
Good
told us
question,
you
you
did.
did.
When he was upside down.
Right.
Well, you had to put him upside down.
You can't get in a suitcase upside down
Yeah.
because the...
Oh my
When
gosh.
you put the stuff
and that's the
in where his
unfortunate,
body was?
that's the unfortunate
Was
thing
upside
too, is
down.
nobody else was there. That's the
We have a
unfortunate
video
thing.
showing the suitcase in several different positions. So it shows, one, like she just said, it had to been on its back with the lid open for him to get in there, for you to zip it up. Then it shows it on the other side with him in it, so you had to flip it to there. Then there's another video where it's on his back again, so you had to flip it to
I'm
there.
leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this. No malicious content or effort was towards this. No malicious.
I would
I'm
say
the point of
does
the
that
video.
help you sleep, but you're not sleeping, so...
I mean,
Last night, I maybe got an hour.
Right.
in your voice you can hear the maliciousness. The you is very, very...
You don't talk to people like that. That's not like a common, like,
Nope.
hey, Scott, you.
Thank you.
That's not common. It's not something people do. And no one that sees that is going to think that.
Okay.
So we were trying to give you an opportunity, and it is what it is.
There's no maliciousness towards that.
So I would probably be telling myself that too after that video.
My intent was not for that to happen.
But you went upstairs and went to bed. Or maybe you passed out, I don't know.
Waiting for him. And the whole time frame thing, it's like,
regardless,
that's not really fair.
Regardless, waiting for him, it's not like you walked up the stairs. You can't fly up the stairs, no one can take you up the stairs.
Okay.
You go up the stairs, you lay in the bed, and you wait for him. Who cares if it's 5 minutes? Who cares if it's 30 frickin' seconds? He's begging for his life. He's begging to get out. You go upstairs.
You leave them.
It doesn't matter. So get the time frame out of your mind. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's this. So it doesn't matter anything what it is I say. So it makes no difference whatsoever.
It's just you're lying and like you're now changing your story.
Who's lying about what?
You're now you're drunk.
Oh, I never said that I was drunk.
Exactly, but you did here today. That's okay.
You said earlier.
Everything recorded.
Alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol. Alcohol does a lot to people.
Yes, but I never said I was drunk.
Okay.
You did.
So you did this. You did this sober. You knowingly left them down there sober.
I have already told both of you also that we were both drinking.
Right.
Okay.
But you want to admit that you were drunk? Is that?
I'm telling you all both. This has changed my life. I will take this. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a true statement.
Absolutely.
It was not out of maliciousness or intentional. I don't know what or how I can say it. I love George. Love him. To this day, still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what, I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him. So.
Wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh gosh. Okay.
We're simply just trying to go through, I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to, this was such a laughing matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
all
video.
All day.
By that video, that
all day.
Wasn't. Anybody looking at it, I don't think anybody would look at that video and go, George is having fun right now.
So why is it you all think that y'all don't know me, you don't know me.
Nope.
Would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son.
I don't know.
Like why?
9-year-old son would be.
Like
why are you so like caught on what we think?
Yeah.
When
because
you should be more concerned about what you've told us.
It's because like you guys are like trying
the things that the video shows that are opposite of what you told us, and then what you've now.
Like what is opposite?
Well, you said that it was funny, and you're the only one laughing.
We were playing before that.
Okay.
But then it stops.
Yeah.
It obviously stops being fun. I had several people that came up to me in that apartment complex said that you were drunk on a daily basis.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Regularly.
Right.
Really?
Right. Talk to the property manager. Talk to the property manager.
Okay.
Because it's not...
These are your neighbors, the one that live next to you. Your property manager does not live next to you. They see you every day. How many? You had two neighbors you went to and asked to go use the restroom.
See, that is just not fair.
No, hold on. You had two different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go across the way to somebody else.
No, okay. Kim and Kim is not a nice person.
Okay.
She's just automatically not nice. Even after me and Lucas went over there and introduced ourselves, she's just not a nice person.
Then why would you think she would let you use a restroom?
Because Eli was in there. Eli comes over and talks to us sometimes, which I think pisses Kim off because he comes over and talks to us. The two of them, they're like super standoffish all the time. My neighbors down the street, down the way, their toilet was broken. They had stuff in the bathroom. So then they're like, go over there and try over there.
There's two bathrooms.
I wouldn't let somebody go upstairs and use my personal bathroom. That's what the downstairs one is for.
If it's somebody you like, would you? Or somebody you knew?
They're in the process of doing all this stuff in the kitchen. And there's stuff in the bathroom and the toilet doesn't work. Just walk across the way. No problem. And of course they let me in. Them and them, they're together. They're families. And nonetheless, if you really want to know, and I hope it doesn't get them in trouble, but he is over here illegally. So he's trying to work on getting his green card.
What does that got to do with you using the restroom?
They didn't want to be involved.
Should I use yours? You gotta use yours.
No, I was asking last night because, I mean, we had several different people in the neighborhood come up saying
Eli and
that she
Kim.
was drunk on a regular basis.
Eli and Kim. Okay. Did you ask Benny next door?
Those are the ones next door that she asked to use the restroom, and they said no.
No, she said no.
Okay.
And like I said, she's not a nice person.
They're coming. What are your questions?
Yep.
I can help you with.
Who's coming?
To do the fingernails?
Yeah, you said that we could.
And you don't have to allow us to do it, just so you know. So don't think that it's...
I don't have a problem.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
So, am I getting my phone back?
No.
Not today.
What about Lucas's laptop?
No.
Not today.
Not today.
What does that mean?
We're still going through everything.
Oh, that's fine.
You're the one just telling us there's videos that we need to see on it, so we need to do our due diligence that we go through everything.
See, and that backfires on me now, too, because now you all think that I had even more, in quotes, intent to do what I did to him, which was not intentional.
What's that?
Is that correct?
She's asking about your tag in your hand.
No, but I'm asking if that's correct.
No, I'm not going to agree to anything that you're saying. I'm not, that you're...
So, his probation officer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all inform her, or do I need to call her?
We don't have to inform her, so if you would like to call her, you can. Are you saying because he's still on probation?
No, but because of the nice lady that she is and all that she's done for him, I didn't know how it was.
Legally, we just have to tell his parents, and we don't go telling.
Everybody else?
I didn't even know who his probation officer was, so no, I wouldn't go tell.
So the same thing for classes. I need to do that too.
Classes? You need to do what?
Substance abuse class and his batterer's intervention.
Yeah,
something else I was just getting ready to ask. So, other than this, so initially, what was the cause of death?
She is still pending because she wants to hold the body for an additional day to see if more of those bruises turn into something bigger. And she's doing some other tests that she's got to do. So she's pending it for now.
So, and that couldn't have been because of him being in the suitcase? Or y'all are saying that I physically did it?
That's what she's determining.
So
the ones on the head, I asked her, could that have been from the suitcase, and she said she didn't think so.
I didn't touch him, nor did he touch me.
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you all know how to do this because so that's what I was going to get ready to ask you. So are you all updating his parents today or when you get final whatevers?
What does it matter? Why? What we tell his parents? What do you mean?
Because
we're gonna talk with them.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have to.
But it's gonna come down to me.
What do you mean?
Like, so it's being put on me.
Who said that?
But I'm not. So what is it you would tell them?
We're gonna give them an update, just like we gave you an update on their autopsy.
Okay, so it's whatever bruise,
Here's the thing.
Whatever on the head.
We had to deliver news to them last night that their son was dead. There's not a whole lot of conversation that goes on after that. It's not a very easy thing to do.
Was it yesterday or Sunday? Sunday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Did we not meet you yesterday? We met you yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Right? Did we not meet yesterday?
It's a valid question.
Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I asked you guys or how I find this out other than talking to his parents, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, probably a terrible idea.
How do you guys suggest me finding out about funeral?
That's not even something that's been probably talked about between the family. That's not something we ask. We have no way of...
I didn't know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
So...
It's going to be up to them to make the arrangements of what they want to do. Like she just told you this quick, just being told last night, I'll pretty much be willing to wager that they have not even considered what they're going to do.
His body can't even be released, so...
I've been there with parents, grandparents, and uncles. So, I don't know if I have the right to or not, but like I was going to call his former employees whom he really cared for and let them know.
You can call whoever you want.
I just don't want to do something that I'm not supposed to. How do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then
it'll be released to the next of kin.
Yeah. Okay.
I bought it for him.
Okay.
That is a civil issue. It was on his finger. It goes to them. They're the ones that are going to release it. We don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back. So for all of this, like, how do I find out what's what and how many, like, what's been found?
What do you mean?
Pillow with stain, swabs of stain from pillow, suitcase.
That will all be sent off to
FDLE.
FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
Yeah.
They do their testing.
So, and then, like, whatever white can with blood and necktie with blood was from the suitcase.
Correct.
why would you guys, oh, you'll see it in there, the baseball bat for Lucas. And the receipts. And this is just his phone, my phone, and then the laptop.
Yeah, when anything can be released, we will release it, but we are very early in this investigation, and it's not an overnight process, unfortunately.
So, what's next?
They're gonna come and swab your fingers.
No, I'm talking about, like, in the long run. Like, what do I need to, like, do I need to be doing something, or, like...
I can't tell you, like, what to do.
I mean, like, so, like, for... Like, I don't understand, like, I don't know if you guys are just gonna, like... Because it makes it sound like, to me, like, I'm being accused of something that was not intentional. I'm being accused of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a handful of other things that I'm being accused of.
Okay.
So I don't want to be at home with Lucas and you guys show up.
Okay.
I understand that.
So...
we're still investigating. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
So is there going to be concrete whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, this is what it is kind of thing? Or like, because I've done the whole court thing. I've done the whole attorney thing. I've done whatever. So if I'm not admitting anything about being intentional and I killed George.
Okay.
That's not the situation, but it's trying to be pinned on me.
Okay.
That was not my intent. But it's trying to be pinned on me. So however, or whatever it is I need to do in order for that to be proven, then I need to do so, which is why I'm trying to get my ducks in a row.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking what the next step is other than me getting my nails swabbed.
I mean, you want me to tell you how to not be accused of a crime? Is that what you're asking? Like, I don't know what you want.
I'm trying to prepare myself for whatever may need to be done so I can, I guess, stick up for myself.
I mean, I think you're doing just fine. You came, you talked.
I just don't want you guys to, again, show up and Lucas is in the house.
Well, we did tell you yesterday that we don't want to do anything around your son, hence why you came to us. So I don't know why you think that's going to change.
That and or me not just show up back home.
I'm sorry, what? That or what?
Me just not show up back home. That's what, oh, he's so happy that I'm staying over at the house with Brian. Like, so happy. And I'm not going back to the house, to my house, for however long I can stay over here because of whatever to blow over.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you don't mind me asking, so for whatever it is you all are claiming from the videos, which, yeah, is that what you're going to tell them, like his parents? It's like, oh yeah, and by the way, she did.
Did what?
I mean, what would you tell him?
I don't think it really matters what we're going to tell the parents.
Oh yeah, it is. It's fuel to the fire.
Well, we can't hide things, and I don't know. I'm not saying we're going to go. I'm not saying that we're going to go and tell them every single thing we have. But again, this is the Orange County Sheriff's Office. That's public record. So eventually, like, this all will come out.
Mm-hmm.
So it like I'm not.
Matter of time.
You're making it sound like we're going to tell them something, so then your life is in danger, and I don't like that accusation.
No.
So let's just nip that in the butt right now.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
I cannot.
What are we
going to tell them?
But we can't even. But so technically, there's no concrete report yet, even.
Right. So
it's.
You want me to tell you exactly what I'm going to tell them? I don't know what I'm going to tell them. I don't know what I'm going to tell them. Let's just leave it at that. Just like you don't know why you went upstairs. I don't know what I'm going to tell them.
To live with getting him out and doing what I did is punishment enough. Nonetheless, I have to live without him now.
Mm-hmm. too.
Are you trying to make it worse?
He has to swear. Remember how I swore you yesterday on the audio recording? I just forgot, so he raised his hand to remind me to tell you.
Okay.
Do you promise and swear that everything we talked about today has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
For which
True
everything?
and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
What, that it wasn't intentional?
Everything you've said
told us.
today, everything that's come out of your mouth has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
To the best of my knowledge.
Correct. Yes.
Why?
Because
That's how
anytime
you
we talk to
swear.
somebody, we want to assure that everything that we talked about is,
True and accurate to the best of that person's knowledge.
it's not a trick question,
To the best of my knowledge?
to the best of your knowledge.
Everything that you've told us today is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, but it was not intentional.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do me a favor, stand up. I need you to turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back. Do you have anything in your pockets that I should know about?
No.
Okay.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
Not intentionally.
We understand that.
He's still dead.
Well, we don't
Someone
really
needs to
understand
call
that.
Brian, please.
Okay.
Or can I not make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call when we get you down to the jail.
So why is this happening? So this was a trick?
No, it's not a trick. How was it a trick? I'm in here to ask you to explain a few things to us. And
You were read your rights.
your response to everything was basically, I didn't do it.
Intentionally.
I have to go through that.
Doesn't matter. He's still dead. Do me a favor. Have a seat.
Really, guys?
Really.
So if I didn't show up? Why is
You're
this
trying-
happening?
Because
Before y'all said I could leave,
when
that I was done after this, after that.
we were done, yes, we were done. Absolutely.
So now, so that's what it is,
We are done.
right? Not intentional.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do now?
That's all.
What made you all decide to do this?
Made us decide to do this?
Uh-huh.
George is dead.
You guys, I knew this was gonna happen,
You did? Okay.
so I came
Well,
down
we
here
gave-
willingly.
Yes, absolutely. We were trying to figure out what's going on. We're still trying to figure out what's going on.
Unintentionally.
Well, intentional or not, George is dead.
So we have multiple matters scheduled this morning, one of which is Mr. Bankwitz's motion to withdraw. So, Mr. Bankwitz, I'll start with you. Tell me why you're moving to withdraw.
Judge, the letters that have been coming to Your Honor, the derogatory berating of my services in this case, I can't effectively represent her. She doesn't trust me. She calls me a dud, I think, a buffoon, on and on and on and on. And no one should have to endure that type of derogatory comments and expect to effectively represent someone, especially in a murder case.
Ms. Boone, I read your letter dated August 26, 2023, and your letter dated August 30th, 2023. And just so we're clear, I read all of the letters that you send to the court. Whether I respond or not is based on what's in the letter and whether I'm asked to actually do something that's within my purview as a judge or not. If I understand correctly, you have now decided that you think it would be best, in fact, if Mr. Bankwitz was allowed to withdraw. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Boone, in just a minute, they're going to take you back to the Orange County Jail. I'm going to suggest that you talk to Mr. Hobson about the various other issues you raised in your letter dated August 30th, 2023. One other thing I want to talk to you about, we had this conversation once in the past. Clearly, your working relationship with Mr. Bankwitz was such that it deteriorated to the point where the two of y'all just couldn't work together to defend your case. So I'm not going to try to referee how that played out, why that unfolded the way it did. But one thing I want to caution you about, if this becomes a problem on another court-appointed attorney, I'm going to look more closely at what the alleged disputes are. You have a right to a court-appointed lawyer. There are certain decisions a defendant gets to make in the defense of their case that are absolutely theirs, such as whether they go to trial or not, such as whether they testify or not. But there are many decisions in a case that a lawyer gets to make. And while you certainly have a right to consult with your lawyer and discuss with your lawyer, they don't automatically just do whatever you say. They use their professional judgment and experience and look at the evidence, look at the law, and do the best they can. Also, you've got court-appointed counsel. As I've explained to you before, court-appointed counsel rarely have the luxury of representing one person and only having one case to focus on. I have concerns that your expectations of what any court-appointed counsel might do as far as spending time with you and the depth and degree of communication may be unrealistic expectations.
Judge, I've obviously not seen the letter. Ms. Boone is correct. She has walked out of the last two visits when I've tried to review things with her. Just so the court knows, I've spent probably 20 hours, a little bit more, a little bit less, with Ms. Boone. She has lots of lists, lots of questions. In reviewing the court file, she was distressed previously about having access to her lawyers. I have taken collect phone calls from her that are at my expense. JAC doesn't reimburse you because I think it's important for clients to have access. I have spent...
Hang on, please. No one's interrupted you this morning, Ms. Boone.
As I said, I've spent over 20 hours going through her questions, going through her lists. When I tried to update her with regard to the depositions that I took recently, she opted to exit the jail conference. When I tried to review some things with regard to discovery as to things I wanted to make sure she was aware of, she walked out. Out of every conference that I have with her, I'm not sure what that says. about the attorney-client relationship.
Ma'am, you said there was something else that you had other than a 58-page submittal or letter. What other information is it that you're seeking to have me take a look at?
It's things that I've been working on in the meantime. It's things that she likes to tell me is not necessary, but I know for a fact it is necessary. She likes to, in quotes, put things to rest all the time and constantly tells me I'm not having this conversation with you. So I'm not going to waste my time, and I, being in jail, have supposedly abundant amounts of. She's not going to waste my time because she's not going to explain something to me. And I have taken it upon myself to explain it to myself because she refuses to do so. I don't understand what it is that she has against me. I have told her from day one that her snotty attitude was inappropriate, and I try very hard to bear with her and her attitude. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong to her, but I feel that her attitude has equaled prejudice, which is not in my favor, especially considering she's supposedly representing my life.
Okay. Give me an example, if you could, of items that you believe are important Ms. Cashman is not giving attention to or dismissing as you may have framed it.
Yes, Your Honor. She likes to tell me that I don't like her answers. She's not giving me any answers to this. I've written 3 pages worth of questions, but I'm still waiting for her and any other attorney to actually answer for me, such as, why can't I have a bond? Why can't I have a download of my phone? Why can't I speak to my investigator? Why can't I have my medical records? Why can't I fully utilize my constitutional rights? There's 3 pages worth of questions that I have.
What constitutional rights specifically?
I'm very leery about having a fair trial at this point. There's a handful of other amendments that I have been researching and working on and trying to incorporate. To me, what I have written to you is obvious, and apparently from the correspondence that I get from the world, South Korea was the last place that I received correspondence. They obviously see the same thing. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong other than wanting to have a very successful outcome. It's just been long and drawn out, and I believe that God obviously believes in me as much as I do him in order for him to give me this very unique adventure that I am on, and I'm doing my best to let everyone know who I really am as opposed to the malicious murderer that everyone thinks that I am. I don't feel that she can do that properly. I still always, the reason why I'm here is hope that she will come in with a gentle, softer side and actually listen to what it is that I'm saying and see the bigger picture other than what the one avenue that she keeps going down. There's other ways to win and in more than one way. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not saying that I'm trying to remove her. I'm just trying to ask you, please, forgive me for having to ask you for this. If you could please let her know, please, to just be nice to me and have a welcoming attitude, and things will probably change, and I will not get up and I walk out. He's not posting my bond, which I told her a million and one times, but she still spooked him by asking by him something that he's going to have to, and it would threaten his security clearance considering he's in the service, the military. So she totally deterred me from having my brother's address in order for me to have a motion for a bond. No one else has even bothered to even ask me for one, and I will be honest with you and the court. I know for a fact with however sky high my limit would be for my bond to receive, I know for a fact unless my fans would set up GoFundMe pages or God's will or however else it is he planned on for me to have it paid, if at all, my point is to utilize my rights to have a bond. And with the information I have included in here to you, for the amount of saturation of publicity, there's nowhere that I could go even if I were to be at in quotes flight risk because of the amount of information that everybody already knows about me, what I look like, and what I eat apparently, and so many other things. There's nowhere I could go if I were to even think about being a flight risk. It's just the fact that I would like police to have a bond so I can say that I actually achieved something.
Do you understand that if we were to proceed to trial in this matter, and if you were found guilty, the lowest permissible sentence that the court could levy in this case would be 22.5 years in the Department of Corrections? Do you understand that? Do you understand the state's offer to resolve this case? Yes. Okay.
The offer is 15 years to a lesser included charge of manslaughter, with the understanding that she would serve 85% of that sentence.
That's up to the department and her behavior, but that is my understanding of the section.
Ma'am, understanding the state's offer, do you wish to accept or reject the state's offer to resolve this case?
Reject.
Sarah Boone's entitled to a fair trial. I think that right's been compromised here today. I don't know who's scheduled to put the two detectives on the front row with the Torres family, the family of the victim. But they had to have known to tell them that the Suitcase video, which has been around for 4.5 years, was going to be played during opening statement. And the state attorney's office or the sheriff's department had to advise them, or the victim's advocate had to advise them, that if they couldn't take it in front of a jury that's trying to decide the case, they needed to get out of the courtroom. Now, what happened here today should not ever happen. There should be safeguards in place. There's no room for this after 2 weeks of murder trial for something like that to happen. One of the Torres members of the family audibly, during the 2-minute Suitcase video, expressed some kind of emotional reaction. I look back, he or she were bent over in agony, physical pain. The physical pain followed the audible announcement. You can't unring that bell. That's their responsibility to ensure that kind of thing doesn't happen, especially when they know they're going to show a video and the family of the victim is on the front row. I've never heard of such. I asked for a mistrial.
Response.
So would you agree that this is one of the 3 bottles that was purchased between February 22nd and the 2 that were purchased on February 23rd of 2020?
I'm guessing.
Okay.
Maybe it's like the bottle, yes.
All right, and it's 1.5 liters. Would you agree? So what was your level of intoxication at this point in time when the first video was filmed at 11:12 p.m.?
Do you mean from lack of sleep or alcohol?
From the alcohol.
What was my level?
What were you feeling? Did you have trouble with your balance?
I was more tired than anything. He had been angry on and off throughout the entire day.
Okay. You didn't tell us that earlier. You said it was a wonderful, fun day all day, correct?
That's because I lived.
And Mr. Torres, was notorious for doing some of these things, correct?
What do you mean?
Well, you described Mr. Torres as being notoriously known for doing things. You described your ex-husband, Brian Boone, notorious for doing things like nagging and calling all the time. You remember your testimony calling people notorious for doing things?
Yes.
What would you say people would say you're notorious for?
I don't know.
And you would not answer Brian Boone, your ex-husband's phone calls just so that you could let him know that you're busy and you have things going on, correct?
I knew that at whatever time it was that he was calling me, that he could wait for the few moments of me getting up to where Lucas gets out of school at 3 o'clock.
Okay. But you wouldn't return his call. You would let him call several times, correct?
That day, yes.
Okay. How about other days? Would he have to call to remind you to get Lucas on other days?
He wasn't reminding me. He was just making sure that Lucas was covered for a pickup or drop off.
And when they were asking you about Mr. Torres' injuries, you told them that you had nothing to do with it, correct?
Yes,
And that was not the truth.
correct.
Okay. Well, were there ever points in times where you would like him to call you or return a call, and if he didn't do that, you would threaten to get him arrested?
It depends on if he had my keys or something that I needed from him.
Okay. And you agree you would go to the hospital and tell them things that were not true, correct?
Yes,
There were times where you would go to the hospital and leave without getting treatment, correct?
yes,
And is it fair to say that you often had alcohol in your system when you were going to the hospital, correct?
sometimes.
And so you drink what's left in the bottle of wine from the day before that's halfway labeled, correct?
At some point.
And then you drink 1.5 liters of wine, and he goes out and gets another one on his own without your permission or suggestion about 5:30, correct?
Correct.
And then you all consume that one as well, and it ends up in the trash can at the end of the night, correct?
Apparently.
Okay. At what point in the night does your memory tape stop? Because you've described that it wasn't on at 11:03 p.m. when that photograph was taken. What's the last thing you actually do remember prior to these videos being made?
I don't recall it at this point. I don't remember.
All right. Ms. Boone, can you demonstrate for the jury where Mr. Torres' head was and how his body was positioned in the suitcase, if you don't mind?
His back was this way and his head was here.
All right, and then is it fair to say his feet are kind of down here, which would be the front left corner from your perspective in the jury box?
Yes.
And then his knees are kind of tucked up towards his face.
If I remember correctly, yes, that's the position.
Okay. All right. Can you help me understand how it was that you zipped it shut? Can you show us where you say you left an opening that his hand got out of?
Would it be easier to put it down here?
I didn't want to make you go down there. If you're happy doing that, I'll let you.
Judge, the paperclip was on when this event occurred. When we pulled the suitcase out earlier, the paperclip was not attached. So now the prosecutor has attached the paperclip. We don't know if that's the way it was attached.
It's not even a paperclip.
We don't know if that's the proper way that it was attached. But he's asking her now to pull.
Is there an objection?
Yes?
Approach.
If you want me to do it, I'm fine to take your direction.
From what I remember, this is how the suitcase was. This was up here. This was not this hard either. this was like here,
Okay.
right here.
About right there, ma'am?
Sure.
I assume this one was much closer? It's not over there? Where did you
You asked me where I zipped it.
when you say that it was zipped shut, show us.
Are you talking about how I zipped it, or?
When you're done zipping
Like
it
a
shut
hole.
and he's inside of it, where are the zipper components?
Just tell me what it's at.
I mean, it was the corner. I mean, the corner was
right
kind
here?
of open. I mean, it's not.
Did you ever hit him with the bat while he was outside of the suitcase?
No.
So each time that he is hit with the bat, it's through this suitcase. And that's what leaves the marks on him, because you didn't hit him with the bat outside of the suitcase, correct?
Yes, if you'd like me to demonstrate.
No, that's okay. The suitcase will speak for itself. And then you take the second video and you go upstairs and go to bed, correct?
I apparently went upstairs and I used the phone to make a phone call,
Okay.
and then I fell asleep.
But you remember when he put his hand out, did you not hit him in the hand outside the suitcase?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the only time the bat touched Mr. Torres's body outside the suitcase.
Yes.
Was when you hit him with a hand. But all the other injuries were with you poking him pretty hard. I mean, you bruised your hand, correct? Doing that. Thank you.
Later on this same page, owner to Mom Jorge, get all of you. Mean, selfish, fuck all you. Your firstborn is a joke. Going on to page 11, same date of May 30th, 2019, from owner to Mom Jorge, get the fuck out of my life. Lucas 2, bad influence. From Jorge to owner, I am, as you can see, go drink your life away. From owner to Mom Jorge, your kids are too. Yuck. Shucks, I only have one. Beaters, you're three together. Yuck. On to May 31st, 2019, from owner to Mom Jorge. Tell Jorge to call me. I want my things he took. I have his birth certificate and propane certificate until then if he wants those back. And I have your quote-unquote art box. Mom Jorge to owner, stop being petty. I did not take anything that wasn't mine, I swear. Owner to Mom Jorge, you're a liar. I never can believe you from all the other lies. You stop being petty and take shit like you always do. Another one bites the dust, Jorge. Hope you're miserable like you've made everyone else. Mom Jorge to owner, I'm not lying. Owner to Mom Jorge, Lucas said he won't miss you either. When I get mine back, you'll get yours. Mom Jorge to owner, I didn't take it. I'm coming over in a few to get my stuff, and I'm coming with Jean and Melissa. Going on to page 14. Owner to Mom Jorge, go for it. Bring mine W. Mom Jorge to owner, I don't have anything of yours, that's why I'm coming with them so they can vary that. Owner to Mom Jorge, I don't care. They're not going to babysit you because you're an asshole and got kicked out after being taken off the lease. Mom Jorge to owner, they seen what I had in my hands. Owner to Mom Jorge, still don't care or believe you. I'm going to get Lucas anyway, so don't waste their time or mine. Mom Jorge to owner, exactly. Owner to Mom Jorge, you were a visitor and a terrible resident, boyfriend too. Just go away unless you bring my stuff. Mom Jorge to owner, I don't have your shit, Sarah. I need my birth certificate. Owner to Mom Jorge, I don't give a shit either. I worked for that birth certificate, voter's registration, and your ID card. Just because your name is on them doesn't make them yours. Even paid for them. I needed you to be a man and take care of me, not beat me, call me names, and make me feel like I'm not a person. Not giving back until I have mine. Mom Jorge to owner, whatever, Sarah. Owner to Mom Jorge. Next step is restraining order. Know that. You can come over here 100 times. Doesn't mean I have to open the door. Good one, Jorge. Go away. Mom Jorge to owner, whatever. Owner to Mom Jorge. It's been a great day without you. Will be from now on. Mom Jorge to owner. You need to do. Owner to Mom Jorge. Enjoy living with your parents at 41 with no girlfriend and lonely. It was the inevitable, just like it has been before. Image underscore 0092, metadata showing 6/2/2019, 6:33 p.m. And image or IMG underscore 0093, metadata, date taken 6/2/2019, 6:33 p.m. All up to you now, big boy. And for the record, those images were sent to Mom Jorge at 6:34 p.m. 33 seconds. Look what you made me do. Or maybe your mom will for you. Response from Mom Jorge to owner, wow, that's really childish. Owner to Mom Jorge, but effective. Mom Jorge to owner, yeah, I see what you are doing. Did Lucas leave? Owner to Mom Jorge, I'm watching shadows. Be gone for good. Minus birth certificate. Mom Jorge to owner. Okay, cool. Enjoy. Text from Anna to owner. You're rude as hell, but okay. Owner to Anna. Your dad is a POS, but okay. At least you know and will stop calling. Owner to Anna. Futile. Anna to owner, CTFU as you are a piece of shit, but that's God's business, not mine. Have a good day, coke whore. Since you like to switch it up, I'll do the same. Don't text me back either, fake ass. You tell your son he's not welcome here, taken off the lease and bound, worthless. Don't show his ugly fucked up face around here again. Police will be called. Ask him if it was worth it and ride my bike he has. Stay Hispanic, that's what you all are, and he can watch all the porn he wants from the phone Mom gave him. Page 26, June 14th, 2019, 11:38:56 p.m. To Mom Jorge, wow, congrats, blackouts and whoring. We wanted to see him, hot house, 7 people, mission to work on my bike, repeat, Candy Crush, fuck himself, shit job, repeat. June 26th, 2019, 8:06 p.m., 16 seconds. Outgoing from owner to Mo. Just wanted to let you know to tell Jorge I found all his messages, hissy face heart emojis with Crystal and other bitches on FB, along with all his porn after he swore to me he wasn't doing any of that anymore. I'm not doing anything more for him and he will try and keep him in jail as long as I can. Cheating snake weasel, ask him all about it or have your parents the next time they talk to him. I'm not anymore. So hurtful after all I've done for him. He can rot in there for all I care. Going on. through the rest of page 43, page 44, including on page 44, dirty cheat, enjoy your porn and jerking yourself off secretly so your parents don't see you and your ugly new girlfriends. I can't wait to finally be with a real man, Ben, who will and has taken care of me. Can't wait to see what he's like in bed. I already know he kisses. Hope it was all worth it. I'm free. As you told Crystal in your messenger text, you're single with a little cutesy dancing dinosaur. Wow, now you really are. You're despicable.
Argue with him, talk down to him. Some would say was somewhat abusive to him. Sarah's not charged with that. Sarah Boone is not charged with that. And I want to read you something on that subject. Okay, I don't know where it's at, but I'm going to have to come back to it. But essentially what it said was, eventually what I wanted to say was someone can be mean and angry and hateful and intoxicated and still be abused. Sarah Boone intentionally left Jorge Torres in the suitcase. What's the act of a battered spouse syndrome woman? I need to talk about the case a little bit. And if you'll remember, I'll go back to it. If you'll remember, lost my place to read it. They said it. If I took a bunch of notes, let me make sure I got this quote. What has the state attorney tried to do?
Objection, proper argument.
Sustained.
What have they done?
Objection.
What evidence have they tried to put on?
Overruled.
What evidence have they tried to paint Sarah as? What evidence? Controlled and manipulated were the words they used. You know, this ain't the 1900s, this is 2024. What's all these text messages? Why is that relevant? What are they trying to claim? She provoked his violence? She provoked his violence. Isn't that what they've done here in this trial?
Proper argument.
Sustained.
Let me get back on this. For everything you've done to me are the first words out of Sarah's mouth when the video begins. There's a lot packed into those words. Think about that. For everything you've done to me. This is how it feels when you choke me. Now that's in direct response and the result of the abuse that she has suffered at the hands of George Torres. She wants him, for that moment, to feel how she feels. She wants, for that moment, to feel, for him to feel how she feels. At that moment in time, in Sarah's mind, that's an imminent threat. So she's got a justifiable right to use force. What did she do? She went over there and grabbed it. She lifted it up. She tried to get his hand back in, remember? She tried to get his hand to go back in. Wouldn't go back in, so her son's back was 3 feet away. Where the police found it the next morning. Same spot. No attempts to hide. No attempts to delete phone. No attempts to tamper with evidence. Nothing. In the same spot as it was. She picks up the bat. She pokes. She pokes him hard. Trying to get him to stop trying to get out. And eventually he does. And you've seen the blunt force injuries. And you saw some of the circular injuries where you can tell there's a poking. I think it's right around here. And she poked him several times. You remember the pathologist said, I think, maybe 5, 6, or 7 times. She pokes him. And he's got some scratches. I don't know if they'll let you look at it, but on the back of that suitcase, it's got some bars, some metal bars that are inside the lining. There's some lining, and it's for support when you walk in there. She testified. You heard what she said, that she was justified. That's uncontroverted testimony. Affect their perception. Remember Dr. Brandon, Michael Brandon talked about perception of imminent danger. Victims of repeat violence may fear death in situations others would not. The reason Sarah experiences all this, the reason she was feeling the way she was feeling, that imminent threat of danger from George, was because of Jorge Torres. Jorge Torres is responsible for her mental state because of the way he has violently treated her. She reacted to his attempts to get out because of the way he treated her and the way she knows what is he going to do if he gets out of the suitcase. She knows. The second video is played. She's flipped it back upside right. You hear him, it's 22 seconds. He says, Sarah, she's not going to open that suitcase. She's not going to open that suitcase. He's already threatened her. She used the bat to get him to stop trying to get out of it. Why would she do that? Why would she do that? I know what he's going to do. I know what he's going to do to me. I know him like I know him more than he knows himself. I know what he's going to do to me. You don't have to wait. That was justifiable. I want to show a couple of videos. And I want to say something to you. Shelby Andrews is going to help me. If we could dim the lights. Yes.
Do you understand?
What do you mean?
As of this moment, and until I can get you out,
Get the fuck out of here.
you're a room. I dare you.
Did you see him?
Yep, look at him. Look, get away from me. Get away from me. Get away from me. I'm gonna scream bloody murder. I'm gonna scream bloody murder.
Did you see him flip the switch? In that instance? Where he lost it, even though the video was going? Show the next one. Thank you. Thank you, Judge. You turn it off. Can you turn it off? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish up right here. And Sarah Boone, I've gotten to know.
Objection. Proper argument.
Sustained.
Sarah Boone is like any other citizen. Equal justice under the law. She's to be treated like any other citizen. I hope I hadn't missed anything. I've tried my best. Sarah Boone fought back and survived. We ask that you do justice in this case and find her not guilty because the doubt is reasonable. I've tried to show you where the doubt was. I trust your judgment. We spent a long time picking the jury, 4 days. We trust you. We appreciate your service and your obligation to do your duty. You have the power and authority to right this wrong. That's what we're asking you to do. And give Sarah Boone some hope for a better life and freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
She was always there. She called me. I missed us, Mommy. The last time that I talked to him was at 12 o'clock in January, New Year. He came to my bed and said, Mom, he woke me up and I said, Mom, I love you. Happy New Year. And since that day, I don't see him no more. He was my son. I love him. And I miss him a lot, and my family miss him a lot too. But I don't hear her. But you know what? I was blessed. She ain't gonna be blessed like me because I have my son. I raised him. I have his children, my granddaughter, my grandson, and she don't gonna be able to have that. And I did. I raised him. He wasn't perfect, but he was a good son. Thank you.
And Sarah deserved to rot in jail. Sarah has caused a lifetime of pain, a lifetime of horrible images, a lifetime of hearing my brother George plead for his life. This is just this moment for all of you. For me and my family, it's forever. Such a simple thing as using a suitcase is so triggering. I try not to close it all the way. I leave at least like 2 or 3 inches. for the zipper. And it might sound crazy, but it just helps me. She really has flipped my family's life upside down. And I just hope that we can truly get justice for my brother.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I would like to call Sarah Boone.
You may proceed.
If you could take this down.
Yes, please. Ms. Boone, you can be seated. You've been previously sworn. You may inquire, sir.
For the record, just state your name again.
Sarah Boone.
All right. Now, this is unlike a trial, so you're allowed to speak in a narrative form, as well as I understand you have taken some notes or written a letter that you want to read from, and then you want to speak to the court after that.
Yes.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and get started?
This is actually an edited version of.
Hold on a second.
I had a lot to say. I've had a lot of time to think about things, and I didn't really know how to put it on paper, and I didn't know how much I could say or how little I should say. So what I have here is, like I said, an edited version. But I would like to read the more important parts that I feel that everyone should know that wasn't said in my actual trial. And on top of what I have on paper, this is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. So I wanted to read this, and then, if I may, I would like to address everyone in my apology on top of my statement.
You may proceed, ma'am.
Kintu Sukuroi is a kind of Japanese ceramic style which means to repair with gold. In this tradition, when a ceramic piece breaks, an artisan will fuse the pieces back together again using liquid gold or gold dust lacquer. So rather than being covered up, the breaks become more obvious and a brilliant new piece of art emerges from the brokenness. It embraces flaws, weakness, and imperfections, and also teaches the essence of resilience. Every crack in a ceramic piece is a part of its history, and each piece becomes more beautiful because it has been broken. This is the wisdom of Kintu Sukuroi. In my wisdom, and with all of my repairs, then, now, and ongoing, God is, has been, and will always be my artisan. All of my gold is forgiveness. This has held me together, made me shine brighter, and overcome the damage caused by Jorge Torres, the Torres family, the justice system, Orange County Corrections Department, social media, scoundrel detectives, infamy, defamation, ongoing constitutional rights violations, second-degree murder, forced into being pro se. Just as gold is very precious, forgiveness is invaluable. Forgiveness is not an attempt to change or forget who, what, or how you've lived through to be so gold, but an act of grace, humility, and considerable self-compassion to be set free from sorrow. Withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and adds even greater grief and deeper heartache, irreparable cracks on top of the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruths or injustice. It doesn't matter, as the more broken you are, even though now different than before, you've become more outstanding and more extraordinary. Above all, when you let go of blame, misunderstandings, excuses, give up your anger and cease from resentment, this is forgiven. And when you forgive, you heal. And when you heal, you move forward. My goal begins with Jorge Torres, and every time He slapped me, kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed, choked, laughed at, pushed, pulled, dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry. Every time he tried to end me, defeat, or destroy. I forgive George for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day, for ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, my son's furniture, destroying the television we watched together, for wrecking our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls and doors, ramming his entire body into glass doors, kicking in my front and back door over and over and over, for breaking or removing the locks from all of the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether, so I had nowhere to feel safe, including the sacred space of my son's room where he beat me bloody on his bed. For terrorizing and threatening my blind and deaf dogs by leaving the gate open I built to keep them safe, telling me he hoped I'd find their bloated dead body in the pond or scrape their remains off of the pavement, for kicking them off of the bed and throwing across the room because they were trying to protect me. For threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son by breaking all of the bones in my face, like his brother Moses did to him after he kept seeing all of the bruises from George beating me, like all of the times their father beat their mother. For all of the drunken rages and fist fights with so many neighbors when wandering into their apartments during hunting expeditions after I had escaped. For drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to urinate on myself, then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose. For making me experience what it is to be sodomized. Threatening to kill my friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I was alive and in one piece. For threatening to burn down our townhome and set my car on fire because I got a job. For holding me hostage on weekends my son was supposed to come over by keeping my keys around his neck, my phone in his crotch, and a butcher knife stuck in the middle of the table as a warning not to ask anything or try to leave. For stabbing me in the leg and not letting me call 911 for an ambulance or seek help, where I nearly bled to death until I concocted a lie to save him from being arrested. For destroying my phone with a hammer because my son called. For me experiencing ever being arrested, and after today, prison. For beating me almost blind, crushing my occipital lobe. For having me experience what it means to see stars, like in the cartoons, where a character has a tall lump on their head. I had that too, and many times. For dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him. For taking my car driving drunk with my debit card to buy more alcohol while I slept, even after I kindly explained the importance of my car to take my son to school foremost, me to work, and he to his batterers intervention classes and probation officer meetings, where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him. For causing me so much trauma and pain, mentally, physically, emotionally, I had to be hospitalized more than once. For destroying my reputation and integrity, for my M for murderer scarlet letter, not letting me feel safe to live, talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love. I also forgive the Torres family, his mother and father foremost, also his 2 ex-wives and daughters, all for knowing who George was, capable of, and has done in the past, his history of violence and where he learned it, then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help. All of his siblings, including Farrell Torres, who is now on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of her head. For everyone who knew what George was doing to me, sometimes how and when, but allowed and enabled. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they all ask themselves while quiet and comfortable in bed at night the uneasy question, what could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them? And after all the times Sarah tried to, by asking for help, from all of us and so many times.
Another great contributor of my gold is social media, with its greed, insensitivity, deception, obvious exploitation, and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole, and for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate, conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media, which condemned me in the court of global public opinion since the beginning. My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous by social media in my criminal case. It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward. Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantages, especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them. Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own, trying so desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making and taking blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's all over their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed in my case, still no one knows me. In the end, I forgive myself for not choosing my life sooner, for not being more brave, vigilant, bolder, and outspoken, stronger, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, for being hopeless, desperate, simple-minded, weak, and inexperienced. I forgive myself for not realizing I was enduring a life of domestic violence and that the vicious cycle of never ends. I had nothing to compare to. I've never been hit by a man ever before in my life. I was raised hitting a woman was wrong and should never happen. No excuse. I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting back sooner to save myself, my son, my dogs, home, and car. Having 20/20 hindsight thinking of everything I could have done differently or better to avoid the outcome. I think about this every day since. Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, and paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time. If not, the great possibility I would be ended as George threatened me with so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster, and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved him, hoped, and forgave. I tried breaking the spell so he wouldn't be a monster anymore. I saw who he was inside. George made me then, now, and always love him for all of his cracks also. We made each other our own brilliant pieces of art from the cracks and repairs. Unfortunately, not all cracks can be. In all of my forgiveness, George is my greatest lesson and will forever be a part of me. I think of him every day and still speak to him when alone on the rec yard. I ask his forgiveness and that he looks for me at the gates of heaven so I can tell him how sorry I am, endlessly, and that I never stopped loving him. In all of it and still. When I first came to jail, I put my mat under my bed and cried all day and all night for months, only falling asleep from being so exhausted with grief. I wrote him letters. I wrote his family and his daughters, apologizing for asking for their forgiveness. But due to fear that my life or sons would be jeopardized, I did not send. I am sorry. I cannot begin to fathom any of their grief and sadness. Please forgive me. Almost everything reminds me of him, seeing my stab wound especially every day especially. It truly reminds me that all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere. I believe because I do still love him, think of him, and miss his laugh the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands that this tragedy was not intentional. I hope everyone can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that, and always, I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me. I graciously and humbly ask for consideration, for forgiveness to be extended instead of judgment, for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me, please, to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding in what really happened and for how long, for second chances,
repentance, and redemption to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope, always, to make their voices heard, to confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and the inside, to help them not ever become a casualty of domestic violence as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope, and you can survive. In my soft-spoken conclusion, I ask this: would I be the darling mother, celebrated woman of the year, if it were I who died? How many daughters, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, nieces, and friends have been because they did? I am a survivor. Learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke oppressors, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17, all-encompassing, protect the abused.
Ms. Boone, is that the end of your written statement?
Yes.
Now, gathering your thoughts, did you want to make an oral statement?
I do.
All right, would you do that now?
Yes, please. My statement, my verbal statement, is primarily to the Torres family, to the judge, to his daughters. I know you all know who I really am, and that I did care for George, and that I do still love George. I know you know that we had very many good days, and I take offense to the statement of being said that this is just for a moment. Right now with me here in the courtroom in front of you all, this is just for a moment. But the moments before that, in order for me to be here, is endless. It's everlasting. The scars that I have on the inside, my outside scars have healed except for my stab wound. But this has changed me as a person to see things differently and to understand things differently and to not be weak and just try to protect yourself, and forever, regardless of the time that I may receive from today, I forever will have this experience. I forever will have Jorge Torres with me in my heart, in my mind, my body, and my soul. As he and I used to say that we were one soul split into two bodies. This is not just for a moment. It may be for everyone in this courtroom, but when I leave, this is forever. When you all leave, that this is forever. This is forever for everyone here and those who it matters to most. I am one of those who will experience this forever. I'm sorry. Words do not define my shame, and I don't know what else it is that I can say and convey to the Torres family how this happened. The ifs and whys and how really don't matter. It happened, and I'm sorry. Words cannot describe. And I hope that everyone can forgive me, the Torres family most of all, and his daughters, because I know what he meant to them. And I don't think that anybody ever understood what he meant to me and I to him. And I ask for forgiveness.
Ms. Boone, I have just one or two questions, if you don't mind. And you can speak on it if you want or not. But this is a unique case, and one of the reasons it's so unique is that you were in jail for 4.5 years prior to your trial. And I understand that when you were brought up as a child that you did have some spirituality in your family, some church, some religion.
Always.
But I understand that you got away from that. Did you have a chance during the 4.5 years to look back at your spirituality?
Absolutely. You know, Everyone supposes that this is one of the worst experiences of my life, and it's actually been one of my greatest. If I were not beaten to death, I was going to work myself to death on the outside, and I never had time to get back into my Bible and to pray and to be with the Lord. And I, being here incarcerated, have had time, of course, to get closer to God, to reacquaint myself to Him, and realize what it's all about. This is all temporary, and when I say temporary, I don't mean by being set free in jail or from prison or wherever else. It means being set free and temporary, meaning that you work for something higher, you work for God, that you strive for your crown to be placed upon your head by Jesus Christ by being said, "You have done well, my good and faithful servant." I've always tried to be a good and faithful servant. I was just a servant as opposed to doing all that I can when my family were alive and I was going through everything up to this point. I've become so much more closer to the Lord, and it's made me such a better person, and I hope that I am an example going forward of the Lord's light and can draw many people to me because of it.
Any follow-up, State?
No, I assumed that was the final word.
Thank you. She can return back to council's table. Anything else from your side of the ledger, Mr. Owens?
No more witnesses, Judge, just arguments.
Okay.
So my thought was, obviously, they were both drinking. But what has he done to her? And I think it's telling about what she'd endured. So it's not a clear-cut case, Judge. It's not black and white. There is some gray. And it's up to you to decide what's appropriate based on the court's, based on the jury's decision. But I would ask you to temper whatever justice that you think is appropriate with some mercy. And consider the fact that the state was willing to offer 15 years on a manslaughter as a lesser included offense based on the facts and circumstances that they were aware of prior to this trial. Thank you.
Thank you. Court pronounces sentence as follows. Ms. Boone, court sentences you to life in the Department of Corrections with credit time served that Madam Clerk will provide to you momentarily. There are also court costs and costs of prosecution, which Madam Clerk will give you the totals of momentarily. Due to the court levying a life sentence, the court is inclined to liquidate those to a civil judgment unless I hear opposition from the state.
No opposition, Your Honor.
All right. Madam Clerk, if you could please give us the credit time served and the court costs, please.
4 years, 9 months, and 8 days, and the court costs are $418, a state prosecution fee of $100, a dirt fee of $50, and a PD. Oh, excuse me, you're not supervisor.
I'm right.
So the total would come up to $618.
All right, ma'am, the court costs and costs of prosecution are $618. Those will be liquidated to a civil judgment. You will be given credit time served of 4 years, 9 months, and 8 days. You will have 30 days from today to appeal the judgment and sentence in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you. I'm going to have the courtroom deputy provide you the paperwork. Because you've been incarcerated for the last 58 some odd months, the court is going to declare that you are indigent in this matter. I cannot appoint the public defender to represent you as they are conflicted out. Similarly, I cannot appoint the regional conflict counsel to represent you for the same reasons. The clerk will appoint an attorney from the conflict wheel who specializes in appellate litigation. And again, you'll have 30 days from today to appeal that judgment and sentence in writing. Do you have any questions for me? You will now be remanded into the custody of the Orange County Jail to transfer you to the Department of Corrections, and I wish you the best of luck.